Alright, baby, this is DYMAX chilling here with DJ RC LAROCK. Alright, hip hop pioneer, you know, he dropping all the jewels on me tonight. I'm like, how do I know that you coined the phrase on and on till the break of dawn? Alright?
Because it went like this. It was back in 1977 when I came out rhyming. I was in a house in 1976 writing rhymes for a whole year before I came out. And when I came out, there were very few crews. The only people who were out when I came out that I know about was Kool Herc, Coke LaRock, B-Boys. You had Kaz, JDL, Notorious 2, the L Brothers, Mario, Disco King Mario, Theodore, Flash, Melly Mel. Those were the cats out. Hollywood and Harlem. Then you had other crews in Harlem that were out that never got any light. But when it comes to the break of dawn, I had a rhyme that, because I stood in a certain stance and I placed my right hand under my arm, and when I rock, I will use my charm, because I rock to rock and roll, the blues and jazz. I got style and what they call pizzazz. Now this I was saying in 1977 in Cedar Park. Cedar Park is the first hip-hop park ever. Kool Herc lived down the street, and he moved into Cedar Park after his parties didn't work no more in the community room. And in between his building and the next building was another DJ named Mr. Lee, who used to come out with the Altec speakers, and I used to rhyme on his equipment. At the time, they were kind of like nursery rhymes. They weren't really fitted for hip-hop. It was just speaking rhymes. But Break of Dawn came about because I rhymed so long and on that I went to the break of dawn.
Wow.
At the time, the phrases other MCs were saying was, I'll rock to broad daylight. Kaz was even saying, I'll rock to broad daylight. Back in the day, biting rhymes that's prohibited. You get your teeth knocked out, you bite rhymes. So you had to come up with either the opposite or something close to it. I came up with Break of Dawn, because they were saying to broad daylight. What's the closest thing to that than the Break of Dawn? And because I flowed for an hour straight, non-stop at a party in Cedar Park, I went on and 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 on to the break of dawn. Not break of dawn like breaker 19. Break of dawn. I'm the MC that started double talk, stutter rhymes, and spelling out rhymes. Before me, they were not spelling out rhymes, because I got G-U and the S-T-O, and the word spelled out spells gusto. I rock the D-I-S-C-O, and I got G-U and the S-T-O. I'm the R-C-L-A-R-O-C-K. It's RC LAROCK, I'm heading your way. All of this I was saying in 77. It was not the record Spellbound that started spelling rhymes. It wasn't Slick Rick that started storytelling. I already had my rhyme about the Wizard of Oz in a rhyme format. If you go to the record Micstro, M-I-C-S-T-R-O, you hear all the styles from Daddy Kane to Rakim, metaphoric rhymes, storytelling, stutter rhymes. It wasn't Dawes effects. I used to I get funky. I get funky. I get F-U-N-K-Y. Come on, fly girls, and don't be shy. All of those rhymes I used to say back in 1977. I used to stand like this with my hand under my arm and just rhyme and just flow in the B-boy stance with my feet just like that.
So all that is on what, YouTube?
All that is on YouTube. You go to the song Micstro, M-I-C-S-T-R-O. It was written in 78. It was manufactured in 79, and it came out New Year's Day, 1980. Wow. On New Year's Day. And on 1979, to prove it, I even have a flyer from 1979 all the way out in Long Island, exit 72. Holiday Inn on exit 72, where a promoter hired me to go do a party out there, 1979. And to go further than that, to prove my authenticity, you go to Theodore, AJ, Lovebug Starsky, DJ Smalls, and Hollywood. I have a flyer from Princeton High School called All-Star Disco Citywide Playoffs. Princeton High School.
That's my school.
That's where I did the party. I was the MC there. So you know about the party, you see? Princeton High School, April 28, 1979. It was awesome.
You was before me because you were a little older.
I'm a little older.
But that's my school.
That's your school. And that's where we rocked at. And Theodore was rocking, and I remember the rhyme. 1979, I'm gonna show you what it was. He's the Theodore. The man is bad and you can plainly see. With a zit, zit, zit and a zat, zat, zat. In 1979, the scratch goes like that. Wow. And the crowd said, ah! Because they never heard no rhymes like that.
So how does that feel like, you know, I like to ask the pioneers this question. Because, you know, the boys of the day is like, whoo, making crazy money.
Well, I'm skipped over.
Hip-hop.
I'm skipped over in a lot of ways, but it's okay because, you know, things work in time. And now in Philly, they calling me back out there. In the last year, I did 5 shows in Philly. I walk into the room, it's in a club, 1,000 people in the club. I never seen that. Not for me.
All right.
And I show up 30 years later, there's 1,000 people wall to wall, 30 and over, standing there going RC, 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 RC. It blew my mind.
Okay.
And so I put the pictures, you know, I got it all up on my Facebook page and everything. I have a whole album where you can see inside the club and what's transpiring. And the comments on YouTube, I mean, all I have to say is, you know, there's been nights where I sat there and read to them and a tear developed in my eye because of the love. And I got it from Philly, not my hometown.
Wow.
But that's okay because New York, and I learned this as a DJ traveling and touring around, New York gets it last. New York thinks they're first, New York is last. Yeah. When I was in DC and Maryland, and I was working with WPGC radio station out there doing hip hop for the free DJing for the local community, and I provided that service. I volunteered for that because I used to do Howard University homecomings, and I used to set equipment up outside of a store called Up Against the Walls, a clothing store. And I pioneered in-store DJing in clothing stores. Okay. Conway on 35th Street. So there's a lot of little things that, you know, I started. And that's what pioneership is about. It's about trailblazing. It's about trend setting and pioneership. And that's what I am. I'm a pioneer to the heart. I'm always going to do something first. Because I don't know I can't bite. I can't steal somebody else's, you know, originality. It's got to come. I'm inspired by it. And it motivates me to think of a twist to it.
Okay.
And I'm going to always come, even when I DJ now, when I play my music and people hear me and they finally put their ear to me and like, yo, let me check this guy out. You could sit down all night and you could just sit there and listen to me. You may not even want to get up and dance. Just listen, because I'm going to give you something you haven't gotten before. Something that is missing. And for me, what that is, master of the blend. That's what that is. And what that means for me is hours and hours of practice. I'm talking hours. Sacrificing, going out, 80-degree weather, sometimes sacrificing even with the family just to put the music together, because I know what I want to project. I know how I want to be received, and I'm proud of where I am now as far as my skill technique, and I'm still learning. I've been doing this DJing since 1989.
But what do you honestly think though about, you know, the industry, how they overlook not only you, right, but a whole lot of pioneers? Like,
well, it's
just
business.
Not right.
It's a business. It's a
business.
business.
But I'm saying the young cats that's coming up, you know, they doing their thing for this generation. But I mean, damn, because I know if it was me, I would be angry. I understand why some people is angry, because they're angry. They're mad.
Well, see, what I find in being disgruntled, because that's what that is, because you didn't make it somewhere, you're disgruntled. And to me,
no,
that's
but they did make it because they created this. Without them doing what they did in the park that I attended, it wouldn't be what the kids is doing today that the mass media got a hold of.
But when you really look at the timeline of it all, it could never be that way again. It could never be in the parks like that, plugging your electricity to the light pole. They would never tolerate that again.
Yeah, but that's what's missing. Because now, look what it turned to. I mean, I got my GAT, I got my this.
Well, that's not hip-hop.
To them, the new generation, that's hip-hop. You can't tell them.
No, you can't. You see, what happened was, once it went commercial, after 81, 82, and when the clubs started to grab it, because really, a lot of people don't recognize the roller skating rinks after all the real true hip hop clubs like Ecstasy Garage, T Connection, Fever, after those original disco clubs and hip hop clubs closed, it went into the roller skating rinks. Once the roller skating rinks closed, the other venues, the Roxy, Studio 54, now they want to fly you around the world and make money off you. So it's back to being manipulated, used, and abused. We come out with a product, it gets taken, just like all of our so-called stars, because they're not stars, they're made into stars, but they're called stars. They always wind up going pop. They wind up taking them, and they no longer make black music. They make what's called pop.
Well, the pop is the crossover because you can't only have that one market, so they just make them so they cross over to get all markets. Actually.
Right, but at the same time, by doing that, you're also taking away something that makes it only soulful. You're adding something that waters it down to make it marketable to those who can't attach to the soul. Because not everybody has soul.
Well, but everybody wants it though. That's the plus in it. Everybody wants the soul.
Everybody wants it.
And you can go to China and they want the soul. I mean, you can go across the board. I mean, that's the good part that came out of it. You know, so it ain't just us in the park, you know, jamming. It really has crossed the culture. It crossed the culture.
And when the interesting thing about that is when you go overseas, you go to Germany, you go to Amsterdam, you go to Japan, they have more respect for the art form than where it originated from.
Yeah.
They big up the old school. They only want old school.
Yeah.
If it's not 88, they don't want it. It's like, oh, no. Nah, I don't want that. I want this from this era back. What's interesting about it all is just blessed to be here to see the development and how it's gonna come full circle. Because there's an avenue and a venue for a spokesperson like myself, an MC like me. There's a time and there's a place for me. The world is not ready for me. I say that because the world doesn't want to be enlightened with knowledge and information and uplifted. They're caught up.
Of course they do. But
they say they do.
Nah, I mean, mass media, who's in control, is controlling the nonsense.
You're absolutely right.
But the people
you're absolutely
love
right.
positive something, you know? Because we need that to feed our soul, so don't say it's us.
No, you're right. No, it's not us. It really isn't us because it's the media that turned our music into what it is.
Right.
They promoted the gangsterism and all the derogatory remarks made against our women and men.
Yeah.
And with magazines like Source, when you get to who's behind those magazines and then you follow them and see what they put in these magazines, all they do is perpetuate the garbage and they keep it going.
Yeah.
Because negativity sells. Unfortunately, positivity is looked at as weak.
Not really, but it's accepted. That we can say that it's accepted. If it wasn't accepted, they wouldn't put it. So we accept it so we can spread it. You know, those who spread the negativity.
So I'm glad to still be here. I'm glad to still be able to see Kool Herc You know what I mean? That he's living. We get together. I see him every now and then. You know, we sip a Budweiser or, you know, his Corona, and we talk. And it's such a blessing to be able to see him and to know that it's still living. And with people like that around and people like me around, it's gonna stay true. I mean, I was in Philly, and Philly keeps it real. I hate to say, but Philly is way past New York on hip hop and old school. When you go out there and hear the old school DJs, I learned so much from those DJs. I'm talking about digging the crate side B records. They pull records out. You're like, what's that? I never heard that. Man, I thought I knew it all. And I have 65 crates of records.
Wow.
In my lap, and I thought I knew all. You can't tell me nothing about records. I got them all. I went out there and heard some DJs play. I was like, y'all, I need that. I need that. I need that. And on hip hop, oh my gosh, they pull out the real underground hip hop, and they do the whole party like that. You don't hear no new stuff. When they say it's an old school party,
yeah,
it's an old school party. When they say old school up here, you hear the top 40. You know what I mean? You hear last year's records throwback. You hear, that's not old school. Old school is old school. But, you know,
it is what it is.
It is what it is in every state, and I'm learning that you gotta travel. I'm telling you, expand your horizons. If you a DJ, I don't care if you're not DJing, go other places. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. I've been in Vegas 2 years. In the time that I've been there, going back and forth 2 years, it must have upped my ante as far as music genre is concerned, tenfold. I'm twice a different DJ since then. And that's only 2 years, just listening, playing little showcases, trying to get my foot in the door. And when you hear these DJs and you see what they bring, sound effects, drum machines, keyboards, recorders, they DJing like this. You come in the Bronx, you come in New York, 2 turntables, that's it. Laptop, that's it. These guys got sound effects, samplers, drum machine. They got sound, they got dancers, they got...
Wow.
So if you guys think you DJ, you need to travel and see what real DJs are doing today. When I say real, I only mean because they harness the total art form, the technology and everything. I was amazed.
They going in.
Yes. It made me say, you know what? You got a lot of work to do. I had to dig in my catalogs and start looking up equipment and start researching like, wow, I need this sample and that. It's a big deal. It's bigger than what I thought. I didn't know. You know, I didn't know. Before I started traveling, I didn't know. I thought I knew being a pioneer. Coming from, see, when I grew up, I first started watching P.D.J. Jones and Nell Gwynns when Starsky was a record passer for P.D.J. Jones. Used to hand him the records. I never saw Hollywood at 371. I wasn't old enough. That was my sister's a year and a half older than me. But I was able to get Nell Gwynns. I popped the quarter-field collar up, put a little hairliner right here, a little bit right here, and it was dark, and stand on my tippy toes and stand right there. I couldn't dance because it was nothing but hustling. I didn't know how to hustle. I came from the free, the spank. We used to do the walk, all that, but robot, break dancing, you know, b-boy. That's where I come from. Because I went through the whole stages of the hip hop. I started at graffiti writing, then b-boy, and that's how I got the name LaRock. I was breakdancing against Clark Kent, original Herculoid. They used to be at the Hevalo. He was original Herculoid, and he was a DJ, and he looked just like Clark Kent, black Clark Kent with the glasses.
So he was a Herculoid. He was with Kool Herc.
Yes, he was Kool Herc's DJ, and he was a b-boy for Kool Herc. And me and him, we went against each other at River Park Towers, and Kojak and Ice was the DJ.
So I did a taping. I gotta play it, because they already had this here Africa Bambaataa celebration, 37 years this summer past. So I gotta play that, and it was just interesting because they want the true essence of hip-hop to be handed down to the new generation who don't know what time it is.
These pioneers are not telling the whole story because they don't know the whole story. They only know the story of their section. And that's the problem. You're getting the story of the East Bronx. You don't get the story of Harlem.
Yeah, but you gotta get the story of where it started. Now, where it started, these are the pioneers that are talking about the start of what they created. Like you saying, what you created. They talking about what they created. And then if other people created off of them, then that's something else.
Right. But when it goes back to creation, first of all, when they talk about mixing two records together and hip-hop, when you hear the story of hip-hop and you hear how Flash said, oh yeah, I made a mixer because I used to go to Samuel Gompers and I made this in his class and all of that. They had mixes when you went to the white clubs downtown already. They had rotary mixes already.
Yeah, but they ain't got nothing to do with
but
the
follow
culture of hip-hop.
Follow me on this. It does have to do with the culture of hip-hop, because when you say you started something, you gotta say start means start.
But that was a start. Like you say, you can learn something from somebody. That's what you said earlier, and you
But that's not the start.
But you twist it. It's your start for your movement for what you doing.
But that's not the start.
That is the start, because before I brought it to
it can only be one start point.
Nah. I think it could be more than one, because you can start something somewhere.
It's called continuation.
No, it's not, because you're not doing what I'm doing. I'm reinventing what you got.
I'll go back to it again. When it comes back to him saying using a mixer to take two records to make them match, that was already being done. That was already being done downtown.
But was it done in the hood? See, that's the difference. Downtown is downtown.
But what I'm saying, that's not the start.
But it is. It's the start for the hood. That's what I'm saying. It may not be.
I'm not just about the hood. I'm about the art form. The art form doesn't start.
But what we're talking about is hip hop that started in the hood. So I can't talk about downtown and what they did.
I can say this only because I was there at a different time than you, and being a DJ, I understand what you're saying, and I respect.
He brought it to us. Put it that way. So
that doesn't mean that's the start.
But that's the start for us. That's what elevated it to be what it is today. Us in the hood with the parks and the jams and whatever they learned downtown. If they learned it downtown, if that's what, we don't know that. We know what we know because we went downtown. So I gotta go with how they feel on this. Even though you could be right. That's where they got it from, because we learn from everybody.
We're talking history.
Exactly.
If we're talking history, then we have to talk the history. The history doesn't start with them.
It does for us in the hip hop community.
I'm not gonna go back and forth with
you going like DJ.
No, I'm not going DJ wise.
Are you going hip hop wise or DJ wise?
I was there when it started. So I'm telling you from my experience how it started. It didn't start with them.
But did those people in the clubs downtown bring it to the hood? That's my point. Did they? Did they keep theirs downtown? And if I didn't travel downtown, let me finish. If I didn't travel downtown, would I know about that if they didn't get it, wherever they got it, and bring it to me? That's the start I'm talking about.
No, but
that's the start I'm talking about, though.
I understand. That's a self-created start.
Exactly. That's what's important.
But beginnings are not self-created. They are created because somebody did it first.
Yeah, but they did it first. But did they do it first for hip hop? No, we're not talking history only. We're talking history and hip hop. Did they do it for hip hop or did they do it for the club?
We have two different opinions, and we'll leave it at that.
No, answer that question.
I don't agree with you.
Okay, so you saying they did it for hip hop in the club?
Well, that's not what I'm saying.
Then tell me what you're saying.
What I'm saying is the technique that what hip hop brought to the two break beats. You have to understand the concept of hip hop first of all. The concept was, I need to take this little break beat and match this other little break beat so we could keep this party going. That's hip hop right there. I need to take this drum beat, and this one that's only 30 seconds and extended. That was Kool Herc's merry-go-round that he describes about merry-go-round. But he wasn't the first one to do merry-go-round because he wasn't going down there to see what they were doing already. So you can't claim something and say I'm the first when somebody else was already doing it. That's what I'm talking about. That's only what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about who introduced it to the people in this building first. That doesn't mean that's where it started.
But that's what matters because that's what took off to make it be.
Wrong. Wrong. That's the wrong description of history. History don't start. The Bronx didn't start. It started somewhere else before the Bronx. So if you're going to talk the timeline of it, then you have to speak to it in its entirety. If you leave it out, then you leave out the history. And you're starting in the middle. What about the before that? Even breakdancing.
I'm not saying that other people didn't do what they did. I'm not saying that.
I understand what you're saying.
So I'm just talking about what made hip-hop be hip-hop today is the people, wherever they got it from.
Was bringing it to the park only.
If they want to say...
It was only bringing it to the park.
But I created this.
The only difference is that we brought it in the park, not in the disco. That's it. Other than that, they ain't start nothing new. And rhyming over it is not new. Hank Span on the radio and Wolfman Jack was rhyming on the records before MCs was on the records.
I mean, we can go back even further than that, but it wasn't hip-hop. That's the difference. It was something else. It was called something else. It wasn't called hip-hop.
Hold on a minute. Hip-hop was only named hip-hop because a rapper called it hip-hop. It was already being done, it just wasn't named.
Yeah, but that's what makes all the difference.
But this is the history.
But that's the difference.
The history was that when the rapper called it hip-hop, he got it from bebop. That's where he got it from. And that's Keith Cowboy from the Furious 5 MCs. Who first was the one who said hip-hop, hip-hip the hop, and then Starsky took it, Love Bug, and ran with it, and so did Hollywood.
I mean, you got people who did jazz, Ella Fitzgerald, everybody that did scat. All right, so scatting is really like hip hop, but it's a whole different type.
It's not rhyming though.
Right, it's a different
type. Hip-hop
type.
is rhyming.
It's a different type,
right.
But you have other artists that did something that's similar, like a hip hop, but it wasn't called hip hop. It was called whatever it was for that era.
Check this out. There's a white man in the Prohibition era, in the 20s, who was against liquor. He got up on a podium and was spitting rhymes in the 1920s before any black man I ever heard spit rhymes. They show, you go on YouTube and pull up Prohibition and rhyming. You see a white dude standing on a square talking to the, and he's rhyming, flowing. I mean, like, so when we go back, that's the first guy I ever seen
actually,
doing
we
that.
know it came.
And how about Muhammad Ali?
It came from back in the day.
Look at Muhammad Ali when he was rhyming. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That was right. That was hip hop. That was hip hop.
Even some jazz or blues.
Yeah.
You know.
So when we speak of
but it's not hip hop. But we
yes,
took
it is.
It's not. It's what it was for that era. But I'm saying hip hop. It's like even
that is hip hop though.
Even